We had a frost last night. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, we had a frost. 28 degrees. Had some frost. It didn't freeze the ground. Our ground really doesn't freeze much. You know, up here the frost is already gone because the sun has already melted it. When it is cold here in my area, I live in Oregon, in the Pacific Northwest, when it does get cold, it doesn't stay cold for very long. It melts, usually melts within a couple hours. Even if the sun is not out, we don't get a lot of cold weather here. If we do get snow, it only lasts just a few hours and it melts. Once every decade or so, we'll get some snow and it'll stay around for a couple weeks. But it doesn't stay very cold here. And I can hunt pretty much all winter long, right? So a lot of people do not have that luxury of hunting all winter long. You know, it's rainy here, but this next week is gonna be really sunny. It's gonna be really good weather for this next week. So in the 50s, in the 40s and 50s, so it's not gonna be really cold. So throughout my thousands of videos, a lot of comments have come in and saying that, you know, you need to get a camera on Jim. You know, we want to know Jim's secrets. Why does he get so much jewelry? Why does he get so much coins and rings and whatnot? It's really hard to explain why Jim doesn't have a camera, because first of all, it's just a pain in the ass, right? Those of you who create videos on YouTube or just create videos when you're metal detecting, it's really difficult. I tried the chest mount for about 3 weeks or a month, and I said, screw it. I just totally gave up. There was just no way to get good videos with the chest mount. It's just impossible, right? I just tried and tried and tried, and just the angle, right? The angle, you're bending down, right? If you have a camera mounted on your chest, when you bend down, it's gonna be like this, right? And then you have your camera in your way, right? So when you want to see something, when you want the camera to see something, you're looking like this, right? Your freaking hand is way up here. It's not down here. So when you look at something, the camera is in your way. You know, there's a huge disadvantage of having a camera in front of your face. That means you can't see whatever's in your hand. So it's going to be like way off of the lens, right? It's just not going to be centered. Your hand is not going to be centered in your lens because you have to see what's in your hand, right? Not a lot of people look through their lens because a lot of times, like when it's sunny out, you can't see the lens anyway. Your camera backup video, your screen is not visible, so you don't know if it's in focus or not or anything. But the GoPro cameras, you don't have to adjust the focus. It's an autofocus. It's a stationary focus. So, but it's on top of my head. I tried it on the tripod. I tried it on the detector. I tried it on my chest. None of those worked out. It's a lot of work. You know, if you have a tripod, you have to carry that damn tripod around, and you touch the lens, you scratch the lens up a lot. If you have it, if you have a camera on your chest, you're rubbing it, and you are going to scratch your lens up, right? Because you have to clean your lens a lot, and you're breathing right on top of the microphone, right? So I tried the camera mount on the chest, and it was a humongous pain in the ass. The worst spot that I could have a camera when you're metal detecting, because it's just stationary, right? And you always have to move it around and just move it around because the angle is always wrong. On your head, you have an automatic gimbal, right? A gimbal that you can move that camera around without touching it, and the camera is always facing where I'm looking, and it's not in my way. It's not in front of my find, right? So it's kind of out of the way. But you know, there is a couple things that's bad about having a camera on your head, is you can't see it. You can't see that what it's doing. Sometimes I can't not hear, like if it beeps, I cannot hear it beeping if I'm in a really loud environment. I can't hear if my camera's recording, and I can't really take it off my head and put it on my head and take it off my head and put it on my head when I'm recording a lot, which makes for a really crappy video. And the angle of the camera when it's on your head, it's really hard to get that angle down right, because you have to review the videos, go back and review the videos and make sure that the camera is at the right angle, and you have to move your head right too. I can't be looking way up or looking way down because my camera is on top of my head. I got to be really mindful that my camera is on my head. But it's so much easier when it's on your head, because out of sight, you're not touching your lens, you're not rubbing your camera, you're not going to scratch your lens, you don't have anything in your hands, right? If it's on my chest, I can do it, but I'm always having to use my hands, right, to move my camera back and forth, and it squeaks, you know, it squeaks. And like I said, the more I touch my camera, the more chance that I'm going to have that I'm going to get that lens dirty, and I'm going to have to clean that lens off, and it's going to be scratched up really fast, you know, because we're playing in the dirt, and the dirt is very abrasive to lenses. When it's on my head, it's out of sight. I don't have to touch it, and I get way more good videos, and I'm not breathing. I'm not breathing in my microphone, you know, because it's right there. If your camera's right there, you're breathing into your camera, and you can hear everything. So, you know, and when I was first starting out, after I had gone through that phase of just errors and errors and errors, of trying to do it on my chest and my detector shaft and my tripod, I finally got on my head, and it took several hundred videos to get it down right, before I started posting videos. You know, I made a lot of crappy videos with the angle all wrong, you know, like way up here or way down here. I just have to get that, and I can just touch my camera on top of my head now, and I know that it's in the right position. I still get several, you know, videos. Sometimes I'll record for a whole hour, and I realize that my camera is way up high, or I haven't adjusted my camera yet, but I can just touch it. I just know that it's just in the right spot, and it takes a while to learn that right spot. And knowing that my camera is clean, knowing that my lens is clean. When I get that thing on my head, I cannot see my camera, I cannot see my lens, I can't see what it's doing. So I just have to have faith in that I can remember that my camera is in the right angle and my lens is good, and it's recording when I push record. So many times I've pushed record and I thought it was recording, but I turned it off. So I just get those off sequence videos, where I've missed a lot of live, really cool, like live dig rings or silver or gold, just off camera, because I pushed the camera and I thought I was stopped recording, but I started recording. So I need to get all in sequence. You know, sometimes I just cannot hear my camera beep because the ambient noise is so loud. So, and that's why I don't have headphones also, because if I have headphones, I cannot hear when my camera dies, or when my camera stops recording for some reason. You know, it doesn't happen that often when my camera just stops recording for no reason. Usually I can remember about every hour to change my battery so it doesn't die when I'm right in the middle of a good find. But if I were to put a camera on Jim, that would be a humongous pain in the ass for him, and a even bigger pain in the ass for me, because Jim does not wear a hat. You have to have a hat when you have a camera on your head. You have to have a hat, and Jim just doesn't wear hats, so just out of the question completely, right? If you try to strap a camera to your head, it's just gonna move around, because your hair, right? It's just gonna flop all around. It's gonna be just all shaky, because it's not a firm fit. You know, I have my other Simplex hat and my other Noka hat that just seems to fit really good on it. I've tried many different hats in the past. The other hats just don't work right, because they're just not the right shape for it. Even this Simplex hat is still kind of really stiff, right? Am I wearing my simplex hat? Yes, I am. But you know, the angle's a big thing. You know, just knowing what angle it is, and it's gonna be a different angle for everybody. You know, because everybody moves their head different. Well, thank you for watching.